Well, hello everyone. So today, I want to give my honest opinion about Genshin Impact. So, for those people who may not know, I played this game since it was officially released. I have not played it in the beta, the open beta or anything, if there even was an open beta, but how the fuck do I way of saying it? I have some rough opinion about this game. And I know a lot of people isn't gonna like it, because, to be frank, it's gonna be a lot of negative opinion. So, first and foremost, as I can show you already, I think the first particular problem I want to say is going to be the grinding. If you ask me, I really don't have anything positive to say about this game's grinding. For a game that praises itself for being such a big thing about RPG, it feels more like a grinding game than really anything. Which is just, to me, not great, honestly. And I played a lot of RPG over the years. I played Trails of Cold Steel, I played a lot of the NEB games. And I'm gonna be honestly, if I were to choose what game I want to play, I would rather play those games than this. Because this game's just, it's not really as fun as it used to be, because the grinding just gets worse and worse the more character you get. Which is another particular thing that I'm just not a fan of. Another particular thing is just the world map itself. It seems big to some people, but in the end, once you have gotten to a certain potion in this game, it's just atrocious. It really is. Because I really do not know how to explain this, but what is the point of having such a big open world game if all the open world elements just get dwindled down to a point where the entire game just feels empty eventually? Honestly. So for what I can say about this game, the open world aspect and the grinding is just bad, in my experience. And I was a lot more fun at first, but then it's just, I don't know what to say. It's just got bad. Another particular thing I will also say obviously has to be the character. Don't get me wrong.
I created another universe and founded paradise.
Oh, shut up. I'm gonna be honestly, I really don't get a lot of the character. Like, seriously, underrated character, underrated character, underrated character, child, underrated character, underrated character, underrated character. Like, Genshin Impact's character is just, majority of them are just underrated character. And don't get me started on character like Lisa, who really doesn't fit her personality with her looks, honestly. And yes, I'm not a fan of most of the kids. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gay. I'm a straight type. I'm into female, as you can kind of tell. Which is another particular problem, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like Miho is just kind of biased towards male character. Honestly. Because a lot of the fucking, well, as you can imagine,
Over here. Yeah.
as you can tell, I'm usually running a female crew.
Take this.
Oh yeah. Not a particular thing I will also say I am not a fan of is how Miho treated this character. This particular character is solely the main reason why I trust, or I lost trust in Miho and Genshin Impact. Because honestly, maybe just die. And I'm gonna be honestly, this character is solely the reason why I lost trust in Miho. Miho could have done such a good job of her, and they had to butchering the living crap out of her because of what they did to her. Which is another particular thing. I had honestly only two things I wanted to have to Miho. Either you explain why the fuck you thought it was a fucking good idea to change her, or at least trying to put her model back the way it was. Which is another particular major issue I really don't understand. Because you could have brought so much uniqueness towards her, and yet you just fucked it up like another fucking typical corporation always does. In my experience. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not a fan when corporations just change character without explaining it. So yeah, that's particularly that problem. Another particular problem I really also find about this game is its monetization scheme. I'm gonna be frank. There's a reason why I don't like spending money, because first and foremost, the character you get is just why? What is so good about them? Ula, honestly, to me, is just the biggest disappointment about her. First and foremost, the story was crap. Her whole story is crap. Her aesthetic, her overall bodily appearance is bad. It's just, everything about her is just meh. Nothing about her is great. And don't get me started on a character like Jean. I mean, seriously, everyone who has a head on their shoulder can clearly tell that this character has a lot of things that really reminds about a lot of the fake character. Most importantly, Saber. And for God's sake, Miho, can you stop with this extraordinarily breast physics? Like, she barely has breasts at all. You're trying to showcase something that just isn't there. Like, seriously, even Beto barely really has that much, honestly. If your character was, like, I don't know, a bit more busty, I feel like it would have made sense. But yeah, breasts just... It's just a little bit too much to make sense to me. I'm gonna be honestly. Their bust size just really does not make sense to me. Honestly. And I really don't like that. And don't get me started on just how mediocrely in terms of their sexual appearance are. It's just gonna feel like that Mew is afraid of actually putting a bit of appeal to the female than they are towards the male. Which it brought me back to the problem of just how much bias Mew is towards the male character than they are towards the female character. Because I really can't find the female not to be as great in their design as I do towards the male, honestly. Like, you look at Dilu, you look at Xianglin. Yes, I know I'm most likely going to pronounce his name wrong. I don't care. But I just don't find the female character to be that great. Especially considering how many of them are just... looks like a bunch of kids, honestly. Just a bunch of children in a nutshell. Just... Miho, I'm really only asking for one thing, and it's really that difficult to make that, honestly. Because... it just baffles me, just how afraid you are to try to push the boundary, considering the fact that most anime characters have always been all about just making some of the most over-the-top character. And this is as far as how you're willing to make a character. This is just how willing as far. This is the standardizing of Miho's intentions towards character. This. A character that honestly feels like it just doesn't really have that much sexual appeals. Have what is only can be described as like very fairly small bust size. And really doesn't have that great of a story. I mean, even Beto has more to her, considering how the way she got her vision in the first place. What did she do? She just killed the fucking bandit. Yes, that's basically how she got her vision. That's the whole story of it. Like, the world is great, but it kind of becomes empty. It kind of becomes soulless. Like, yes, the game has attention to detail, but those detail becomes kind of unnecessary over the time. And trust me when I'm saying this, I want to love this game, I really do. But I just really feel like either me who start actually giving a shit about their character, how they make them both in terms of their bodily appearance, both their stylized appearance, but even the story appearance. Just Miho, you're making Miho, you're making a game that could break the idea of what a game needs to be. And you're going around changing character style and thinking that's gonna be the way of doing it. Because if you ask me, that's not the way of making a great game. That's the way to shit on it, in my experience. And don't get me wrong, I could sit here very long time
Everything is negotiable, except overtime.
As I said, I could sit here for a very long time speaking about the problem that I think this game has, with how it's run basically by a bunch of quote-unquote communist people who goes around saying that they are innocent in all this. We are not the bad guys here. And yet you do things that is unspeakable to me. And I know people is going to say, oh, but the Chinese communists has done nothing wrong. Well, considering the amount of censorship they've been having over the years, if you ask me, I feel like with what they did to Rosaire, not good to me. Sorry for the rant, honestly, but I'm gonna be honestly here. When I first started playing this game, probably 6 to 5 months ago, I actually had the interpretation this could be a great game, but after been playing this game for such a long time now, I actually have my doubts about this game for the first time ever. With how much Miho has just been fucking up, with all the controversy, with the character, with the monetization scheme, just with everything about this game just feels like it could have been done right, but they always just screw it up in one way or another. Honestly. And I'm gonna be honestly, I want to love this game, I really do. I feel like this game could be the biggest achievement that could break the idea of what a good anime game really needs to become, but Miho just doesn't seem to give a shit at the end of the day. There's just another Chinese corporation who really just doesn't care about our opinion, which just wants our money, if you ask me. And trust me, I'm very judgmental when it comes towards anime character. And I'm gonna be honestly, what Miho have done is not great. Yes, stylized, they're great. But beyond that, they're just fairly identical in their physical appearance. It's the first particular thing I don't like, because it makes them feel just too identical in the long run. If they have like what, different height in the reality, or actually like noticeable different busts, or actually had like proper reason why they got their vision or anything, it's just part of me really just feel like that the character just feels like they were so lazy. And don't get me started on the idea of character development. Like, we have character like D-Luke who still hates the Knights of Avonius. And it's been like, what, 5-6 months now, and he still has that same opinion. Every character has the same agenda, opinion, and everything. And I really feel like that Miho is just kind of like missing out on ideas of how they could have made the character change their opinion. Like how we could have Jean actually eventually just kind of questioning why she became the leader of Knights of Avonius, because it's obviously the previous leader just went on a crusade and just basically gave Jean the short end of the stick. Honestly. And then, like, Like, from character standpoint, it makes sense, but I just really feel like that the story they're trying to push is, especially for the characters, it's just, I feel like they're focusing way too heavily on the back side of their story, like their whole story, rather than focusing on the character, like, development or anything. Because the characters have just been the same ever since they've been introduced. Jean always tries to do her best as Knight of Favonius. Beidou always just tries to be, you know, Beidou. Rose has always been who she is, and Gon has always been as she is, and every other character has always been the way it is. Like, I would appreciate if Miho were actually trying to introduce more to the character than what they currently have, because they just get repetitive and boring very quickly, though, honestly. Like, I know Miho could most like just ignore me as much as you want, but considering how little I have just come to not trust them outright, just not even have any interest in giving them my money at all, I'm gonna have to ask them, how willing are you to really trust a company who basically have made some of the most greatest attempt of a character, but also the most laziest attempt of character? Honestly. And I know everyone could just laugh at me right now, but I'm gonna be honestly, I feel like Genshin is just not really a game anymore. I feel like it's just a product that is just meant to sell millions for the company. And as someone who tries to actually give a shit about the future of a game, you're gonna have to ask yourself, what is Miho really willing to go for this game? Because I can't see this game surviving more than just a year or two, because of how Miho has been doing right now. So, honestly, either Miho starts to actually change the way they make the character, or either tries to do something about the monetization scheme, because, like, even the fucking skin we've been seeing, we're basically seeing what looks like just the most overcovered swimsuit for Barbara and Jean, which is also like, if people really are that fucking easy to fool, I swear to God, people in this community is way too easy to deceive than anything. I mean, just look at Xiangling, just look at Ula. The most overhyped character of all. A character that really aren't anything great, but I've really just been looked at through stats because, oh, Ula is so overpowered for the meta. Well, guess what? This is not a PvP game. This is not a competitive game. It's an open world, free-to-play game with one of the most atrocious monetization scheme. And the first thing you care about is stats. There's a reason why I don't...
Even if an antique is priceless.
Shut up. Even the stats does nothing good. And the whole meta of this game. Why is there even a meta in a game that wasn't really meant to have a meta? Honestly. Seriously, people. But as I said, I really just want to like this game, but I'm coming to a point where I'm really questioning Miho's intention of this game. Ever since I tried this, when I first tried this game, I had very high hopes. But after all these things with like Rose's model changes, Xiangling's frankly completely overneeded buff, and Ula's just overhyped, and the boycott, and I don't know, I've come to a point where I'm just asking myself, should I really care about a game that the company doesn't even care about themselves? And I know some people will say they do, but trust me, I have seen my fair shares of disappointment in a company. And I've just gotten to a point where I'm just so frankly tired of it. And the same goes for Genshin Impact. So my biggest question to both the community and to the developers of this game, how much do you give a shit about this game? How much do you care? Do you want this game to succeed, or do you just want it to be another fucking Fortnite game? Or even worse, a fucking Blizzard product. Well, I have made my rants. But as I said, you people is gonna be the judge of it. I'm just some Danes just making his opinion. And apparently his opinion today is apparently met with always toxication. But oh well. Anybody who have been coming to this point, congratulations. But I really just wanted to make my opinion. I just really want to get it out there that I really am tired of what this game is, what this direction this game is coming towards. Because I was having very high hopes when I first tried this game because it looked promisable. But as you're just getting through the end part of this game, well, not even that. Like, the game is barely ended. Like, it's still gonna be in development for like, what, 14 and around 14 to 12 years? I just can't see the game surviving for that long, but as I said, either Miho starts to actually do something about the game's monetization, its character, its grinding, and everything. It's just, I can't really see this game really becoming all that great. It's just gonna die the same way as Anthem. Yes, I said it. It's gonna die in the same way as Anthem, or whatever the fuck that game was. Because honestly, I've gotten to a point where I'm questioning the mentality of the developers of this game. And I really hope you people also can do the same. Because honestly, I'm kind of tired of what this game is becoming. I wanted to see a game with great character development, great story. Like, the story is not the worst, but just... it just kind of feel like that this game is not even really trying to become anything great. It's just trying to, like, suck up on money for some bullshit purpose. But oh well. If anything, I just really want this game to become something greater with its character. More character diversion, better, you know, gameplay, just something worth to like. I just really want to like this game, I really do. I really want to see a game that can really truly prove itself. But, well, this game is just, to me, honestly, it's just yet another failure. Honestly. And if anything, if you really want to go on and showcase your support for actually proper people, I feel like the only game out there that is a Chinese game that actually showcases honest transparency has to be the people behind Azure Lane. And yes, I just said that. A phone game, I honestly feel like does a much better job when it comes towards its honesty and transparency. It's a game about overly sexualized character. So yeah. Honestly, Miho, your game kinda suck. I honestly ask you, if you really want to make this game great, either you start actually make the character better, or it's just make them as just an atrocity of a joke, as you have been doing right now. But hey, what am I supposed to know?
Work hard and live each day.
But hey, what am I supposed to know? I'm just some random Danes who has just played the game for nearly the time it released. But yeah, until then, we old people are enjoying the game for as long as it is, because I don't see much hope for this game.
Onwards. We have work to do.
Yes, we do. I'll see you old people in the future.